Hello, what is up, everyone? My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be talking about the two trades that the Flyers made today at the 2020 trade deadline. Now, the video I made yesterday showed the Flyers even make a move. Obviously, they made a move, and I didn't necessarily. I liked both moves they made. So the first move they made was around 10 o'clock, 10:30 this morning. They acquired Nate Thompson from the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for a fifth-round pick in 2021. Now, Thompson, he's played 63 games this season with the Canadiens. He's got 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points, and he's a -2. He's not a bad guy, not a bad player. He's a veteran guy. He should be good for the locker room. I don't mind what he brings. I think he'll be solid. I just think there could have been something that the Flyers could have maybe got, but for a fifth, maybe something different. But for a fifth-round pick, I mean, it's not horrible. His cap hit is $1 million, and I didn't necessarily mind that trade. I thought it was a pretty decent trade. So minutes after. So that Flyers trade happened minutes after the Islanders got John Gabriel Pageau in exchange for a 2020 first-round pick, 2020 second-round pick. They're both conditional, and a 2022 third-round pick. And if the Islanders win the Cup this season, that 2020 third-round pick will go back to Ottawa. So, again, the biggest hopes with that trade was that if the Islanders don't re-sign Pageau, that's a big no-no if you're the Islanders. You gave up a first and a second this season to the Senators for a guy for a rental. I mean, that's kind of absurd. I swear to God, around like 2 or like 2:30, I was sitting in my 8th period at school, and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of just like going through the TSN trade deadline. I'm refreshing it, and I'm going on Twitter. I'm seeing a bunch of different things, and I see the Islanders sign Pageau to a 6-year, $5 million contract. I'm like, that's actually a pretty good trade for both teams then, because the Senators pick up both of their picks there, and then the Islanders get the player that they needed. So again, it's a pretty good trade there, and the Flyers had some. And the reason I bring that up is because it's probably the biggest one out of the whole trade deadline and really the Metropolitan Division. But again, that was a thing that the Flyers were pretty close to getting. They were close to getting Pageau, but Fletcher did not want to give up a first, a second, and then the third and everything. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I think that was a little too much for Pageau. Even though they did re-sign him, I think if you're the Flyers, it's a little too much because the Flyers might not have been able to re-sign him. So say that's a rental for the Flyers, then that's just a no-no right there. So the second trade the Flyers made today, they acquired Derek Grant from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Kyle Kraskulo and a 2024 round pick. I absolutely love this trade. Derek Grant, he's 29 years old. He's played 49 games with the Ducks. He's got 14 goals and 6 assists for 20 points, and he's a -1. And I say 14 goals like that because that's 6th on the Flyers. Jake Voracek has 12 goals. I mean, this guy, he's a good player, and he's solid on the penalty kill. He's very good defensively. He can play center or wing. He's good at faceoffs. He has a 51.4% faceoff percentage this season. Thompson has a 55.4. They're both centers. Both of them can play wing. So with both of these trades, the Flyers cap space now, it's $2,097,368. That's the current, and the projected cap space is $70,000. So they barely have anything. So again, I don't know what's going to happen if they have to address that, and that is per cap friendly as of right now. So I don't know if anything is going to get updated or things like that. But we're going to have to see what happens. So with these guys coming in, the Flyers had to send down 2 guys. They sent down Joel Farabee and Connor Bunnaman to Lehigh Valley. Now, Bunnaman, I kind of expected him to, since I heard that he got sent down, I'm expecting him to stay down there. Farabee, we didn't know if he was a paper move, and when I say paper move, I mean he gets sent down for a couple days, and then he's brought back up just to see where these guys fit in. Fletcher said that Farabee is staying down to play, which I do like. He said that it was good for him to go down there, and he's going to be staying down there, and I like that because if you're Farabee, you're able to go down there. He hasn't been playing that great recently. He got moved down to the third line in the beginning of the last game versus the Jets. Through a little bit left in the third period. He was moved to the fourth line. So obviously there was a little bit something that was going on there with Alain Vigneault as well. But I didn't really think Farabee was playing horrible, but he wasn't playing as great as he was. He had that stretch where he had some pretty good offensive games around the end of January, coming back from the All-Star break. Had that nice goal versus the Avalanche, and that was really after that. He had a couple games, and then he kind of fall off a little bit. But it's good for him. He can go down there, play with Morgan Frost, and he can start to produce again. He's most likely going to be back this season. I don't know when, but I'm hoping that he can come back this season. So now with the Flyers acquiring these guys, as both Thompson and Grant are going to play tomorrow, the lines, these are the Flyers, the lines may look like this. I got this from Sam Carchidi on Twitter. He's at Broad Street Bull. So the first line is still Drew, Couturier, Voracek. Your second line, which is Grant, Hayes, and Konechny. Third line, Van Riemsdyk, Lawton, and Pitlick. And your fourth line, Raffle, Nate Thompson, and Nicholas Aube-Kubel. I like those lines. I like Grant on the second line. Honestly, if the Flyers would have to change this a little bit, I would put Grant at that third line center with Van Riemsdyk and Pitlick, and throw Lawton back up to the second line left wing with Hayes and Konechny. But that's really the only change I would make to those lines. I do like them both. Now, as I said with the Metro, a lot of the teams in the Metro actually added a decent amount. So last night the Capitals got Ilya Kovalchuk. And that was for a 2020 third-round pick from the Canadiens. Pittsburgh got Jason Zucker. Previously, we knew about that. That was for Alex Galchenyuk to Minnesota. And then the Penguins also got Patrick Marleau from San Jose, Connor Sheary, and Evan Rodriguez for Dominic Cahoon. So Pittsburgh added a little bit there, and that's some pretty good. They get Connor Sheary back. They obviously, I said they had Zucker. Evan Rodriguez, he's not bad. Patrick Marleau might be trying to go for a Stanley Cup. As I said, the Islanders, they get Peugeot. They may be getting Parise. That's still in the works. That's Zach Parise from the Minnesota Wild. Carolina got Vincent Trocheck from the Panthers. They gave up Eric Halla, Walmark as well. They also got Sammy Vatanen and Brady Shea. The Rangers re-signed Chris Kreider to an 8-year extension, which was crazy because he was one of the biggest. He was like the number one guy on the trade market, and then he got re-signed. And then the Devils, they traded Wayne Simmons, the former Flyer, to the Buffalo Sabres for a 5th rounder in 2021, and the Devils retained 50% of Simmons' salary. So Simmons made $5 million for the end of until the end of the season. He's a UFA going into next year. So that's 2.5 right there. And they also traded Louis Domingue to the Canucks. So the Canucks now have Markstrom with Louis Domingue and a couple other goaltenders as well. So a review for the Flyers. I thought the trade deadline was good. It was a good trade deadline. I thought there was a couple moves from both teams. There was a couple other moves that went out west. Robin Lehner went to the actually he went from the Blackhawks to the Golden Knights. There was a bunch of different other trades. It was a good trade deadline. I enjoyed it. I liked what the Flyers did. It was good. They added, as I said, the depth guys. I didn't think the Flyers had to add much, but they add these depth guys. I'd say Thompson is probably more for injury, or to see if if there's like a scratch or something like that, or if as I said, injury, if someone gets hurt, you can maybe throw him in the lineup or something like that. But I do like the Grant one. I think that's probably the best move the Flyers made, and it was a good trade deadline. And again, the Flyers, they got an important game tomorrow night versus San Jose. I'm excited to see what these guys can do in the lineup. Maybe one of them get a goal. Maybe see if anyone gets some special teams time. Grant, he's a very good penalty killer. We may see him on the first unit, maybe second unit. But again, it was a good trade deadline. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. And we also have a podcast coming tonight as well. We're going to be having one later. We're going to be talking about these moves and also the other news from just like all of the trades. We're going to be breaking those down, see what we think, and things like that. It's going to be me and Amadeo. I'll be posting links on that on my Instagram and my Twitter, so make sure you go check them out as well. Those links are on my the About page on my channel, and same with the podcast itself and my article. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.